Hi guys, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, I am messing up my words already, that we are doing a Sims 4 Tetris challenge, and I'm not sure if I did this right. Some of the shapes just did not seem to work for me, but we are doing this because I had a look for different speed build challenges because you all seem to be loving them and I quite like experimenting and building, and this one was a very interesting one because you basically had to build a house out of shapes of Tetris blocks. Now each like square was 3x3, so obviously I had to tweak things and move things and have odd spaces left between areas, and it was just a bit odd. I kept changing and rotating and spinning the house, and it was very hard to kind of find something I liked. I don't even know if I'd liked the finished product. It ended up being really large. I had no idea what to do with all the space because you're allowed to put walls to section off the shapes. Obviously you had to do the original shapes, but I didn't like doing that, so I kind of tried to keep it semi-normal. And then I also was like, you know what, I normally build sort of very like stereotypical houses, but I wanted to try something really kind of like modern vibed. I felt that would work well with this, so I was like, you know what, we'll do some like black and white on the outside, we'll keep it one story, flat roof, and we'll just sort of play about with it. So there's a lot of tweaks and turns in this, and actually this is probably like the second time I built something kind of super modern. The other time I built something modern was when I was streaming Sims over on Twitch, which I have been doing regularly. So, you know, if you want to catch me over on Twitch, you can. The link is in the description. It's twitch.tv/smajor1995. For all you people over there, I play Sims and other games, but let's reel it back from that shameless self-promo because it's my channel, I can do what I want. But today we're doing this. Now I never know what to paint outsides of modern houses. I went for like the brick on one bit, but then the sort of wooden planks on the other, and I don't know if that makes it not modern anymore. I really don't know. Some stuff is I either have like a really good house that I adore or I hate it. There's no in between, and this was probably the closest in between. Like there's some rooms that I loved, like I loved the kitchen, and that's probably about it. It's probably the only room I actually really liked. The rest of them were just sort of there. Kind of like me at social events. I'm just sort of there. I don't have any significance other than, I mean, I showed up. I left the house today. I mean, that's also a lie of a story because I A, never get invited to parties, and B, never go to them because, again, I do not leave the house. So, one thing I did find with this house was trying to get the windows to like just look right because it's such odd shapes, because it's Tetris. This is a challenge. Because I could have made this like a really obnoxiously bright house, like each section had to be a different colour and all that, but I was trying to like make it a bit more modern, which was interesting. That first room is like where my living room is, and it is a pain. I don't understand like why I thought it would be okay. Like no one's living room is that big. I've seen big living rooms, but no one's is that big. It's a pain. Just try and do it. Like, there's not enough stuff in The Sims. I mean, there's probably some people who could, but after doing this for about 2 hours, you notice, like, with my builds that they start off, like, really, I'd say really well. Like, I try, put tons of effort in, and then about 2 hours into it, I'm like, girl, this needs to be done. Like, you know, when you've reached your moment, you've peaked, that's it. Let's wrap this up, girl. We got places to go. That's what happens with me in speed builds. But if you catch one of the speed builds that are under an hour to do, they are great. So smaller houses, those are top notch. I think that's the other thing with Sims is like, there's a lot of my friends, like Kayla or Little Simsy, who have styles and they know like the type of build they always tend to do. I don't think I have that. Like I don't have a known style that I'm like, oh, I will always do this style. I constantly change for each build. I'm just never set on one thing. It's just constantly like, we're gonna do this now. I'm like, no, I don't want to copy it, so I'm gonna do this new thing. But I suppose that also translates over from when I build in Minecraft, because although I have like favorite colors and blocks, I still try and change the shapes of all my houses. But yeah, this is a kitchen that I really like. Now, I don't stick to this colour. I made the kitchen actually colourful because I was kind of like, I want some colour in this house. Otherwise, it's just going to be very bland. So I went for a blue, which is very odd for a kitchen. It's not odd for a kitchen like wallpaper or like paint, but it's a bit odd for cabinets, I think. In real life, anyway. I think I also just went for a plain paint because I could not find light blue tiles that I liked. That was what I went for. Oh no, I did go for tiles, then I went paint on the other walls. That was what I did. I was just thinking to myself, I was like, Scott, why have you just lied? You like that tile. But I didn't lie. I'm not a liar. Don't come for me. But it's fine. We're here. Now this is my version of like fully decorating a kitchen. I'm like, I'll put some plants down. I'll put in a coffee machine, a microwave, and we're done. Look at that. Top notch, 10 out of 10 kitchen. Looks like it's lived in. I would win a build competition. I mean, I wouldn't. Depending on what it is. I could maybe win a build competition in Minecraft. Well, no, I say I could win a build competition in Minecraft, but then I see other people's builds and I'm like, how do you do that? What weird sorcery powers do you have? Because I need them. Also, if you notice in the kitchen, I've shrunk those lights down to look like the little LEDs. That's actually an idea I stole from, again, Little Simsy. I seen her do it in hers and I was like, girl, you know I'm snatching that. That's mine now. So I do that quite a lot in houses because it just looks like little LEDs. Also, that tire planter, just watch later on because in the photos when I took it, it just disappeared. I don't know if I deleted it at one point or not, but it just vanishes. I'm not sure where it went. This was also a really awkward shape I had, so I thought it'd be cool to put in like a little garden, which when you think about it is literally impossible that no one would ever get in there to put those in. I mean, one of those windows would need to be like a door, but they're not. It's still open though, so I mean, you could climb onto the roof and water them from above, maybe. I don't know. It just looked kind of modern and cute. This was also this is like all I put in that living room. I think I put a piano in at the end. Also here, look, one of the shapes is wonky. Do you see that? See, now this is when I notice it. But then I'm like, no, that means that shape's wonky. But then I'm like, that means that shape shouldn't be there. So then I have a mini midlife crisis of like, what do I do? How have I messed this up? I end up having to like put in another weird gap just to fit it. Because I've done it wrong. I don't quite know how I did it. So look, I have to leave a little gap there. Which, it's not awful. Where it is in the house, you don't really notice it. But it did annoy me because I was like, God damn it, I thought I was ready. So this is when I'm trying to section off some of the rooms because I was trying to be like, I need one of them to be a bathroom. I need bedrooms in this house. Bedrooms help with, you know, Sims wanting to live in them. So I went for a kind of modern, like, bathroom. I would love to have a bathroom big enough that I can have like a bath just in the center of the room. That's like house goals. Being able to have like a bath separate from the shower and one of the ones that just sit in the middle. You know, like in the films and TV show, and they're always one that the person's in before the murderer comes and gets them. I would want that, but minus the murderer. Just the bath in the centre of the room. I don't need the murderer. I also put those mirrors there, which looked kind of cool. Again, I don't know if I'd want to be naked in the bath and just seeing tons of myself. I don't think I'd want that. I don't think anyone wants that. But, I mean, this sim does. All the Sims I make tend to be very attractive, so maybe they do just want to look at themselves in the bath. I don't know their lives. Well, I mean, I kind of do. I made them. But we know. In this room, which I turned into like a really long dining room hallway bit, it was weird. I actually use something I don't use a lot, which is this sort of painting that's like wood in it. And I made 3 of them. I've got into that habit over the last few builds of like taking a patterned frame and putting 3 of them in. I think it just sort of, I don't even know what it does. It just sort of looks very symmetrical and very pleasant, and I quite enjoy it. And it's very satisfying to me. I don't know why. Also, all my rooms, because they're 3x3, aren't big enough to have bedside tables, which is super annoying. I don't know why the person that thought this challenge thought that would be a good thing, because 3x3 is not big enough. I would need to use the big box room as a bedroom, which is far too large for a bedroom. It's insane. But I also tried to like mix up the colour palette, and I was like, you know what, we'll do a green bedroom. That'll be cute. It wasn't. It was not cute. I regretted that decision instantly. But at this point, I'd been like recording for about an hour, and it was too much. And I was like, you know what? We need to get this done. We need to pack her away, and we need to never upload this. Well, we're uploading it. We need to never load up the game file again, because my God, no. There was just so much that was just confusing me. Like, I couldn't find carpets that fit these type of rooms because they're just so long and narrow. It's a pain. I think also the fact is, because it's so long and thin, but it's also such a big house at the same time. I'd done a 3x3 challenge before, which was real, like all the rooms had to be like that shape, but you didn't have to have like them sectioned off. I think like if you go back in the channel, put in like speed builds on my channel, you'll find it way back when. And I actually really liked that house, how it turned out in the end. This was also my attempt at putting in some landscaping because I really could not be bothered putting in any other proper landscaping. So I was like, we'll just put some nice vines hugging the walls and that will be fine. Everyone will love it. I'm such a simmer. Maybe they'll invite me to Sims Camp. I mean, they probably won't, but we can hope. So again, we're doing this room. Now this room I had no idea what to do with because it's literally so long and so narrow. So I kind of put in like a desk, this is the weirdest room in the house because it's just the biggest waste of space. I think I put a bar in and I'm like, you know what, that could just be like a little room where you go and get your drinks and then go into the other rooms in the house. It's just sort of there. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like this house, as I said, there's certain areas, like I really love that living room corner, but if I could make that the size of the living room, perfect. That would have been great. I kind of hate having such large open spaces because I never know what to do with them. I prefer like small closed off rooms and I'm able to sort of manage the wall space and the doors and the windows. But as soon as you put me in like, bam, this is an open space, it's ridiculous. Also, that shelf, I love that shelf. And when I was streaming, I looked for so long to find that shelf. Like when we streamed over on Twitch, we built a house and I'd said in the stream, I was like, I need that shelf. I knew what I was looking for, couldn't figure it out. It was actually just searched shelf. That's all I needed. But look, we're done. So I'm going to put on some pictures now as you see on screen. I'm going to leave you all. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye.